Primos Honey. Stream the language.
Hey folks, Troy Ruiz here from Primos again. Since we're sitting here talking about how to blow or call on a turkey call, especially a mouth call, one thing I want you to understand and to know that what you're working with here is a true musical instrument. It takes air, it takes air pressure, it takes tongue pressure, and it also takes air control, just like in a duck call, just like in a trumpet, just like in a saxophone. This is a musical instrument, to say the least. Some people look at it as a turkey call, but it's a musical instrument. We talked about the gag reflex in our first segment and how to get past it. And if you do get past the gag reflex, or you don't even have a gag reflex, that's perfect. That means you're well on your way, because you got, in my mind, you got past one of the most difficult things you can deal with when trying to learn how to blow a mouth diaphragm. People always say, how can I learn to get a sound? I'm struggling with getting a sound. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. A lot of times, honestly, it truly depends on the call that you're using. What I have here is a different array of calls. I have the limb hanger, which is a simple 2-reeded call with no cut, 2 reeds of latex, very, very simple call with no cuts in it. This is actually a 3-reeded call, very small frames on the hacked off series with a back cut. This is a 3-reeded call, and this is also a 3-reeded call. My recommendation is put these aside. In the very beginning stages, don't try to sound like one of those guys you hear on stage. Try to sound like a turkey getting their first note. Think of yourself as a poult. You're a young turkey. What do I have to do to make the sound? Well, very simple. We got past the gag reflex. The very next thing is just getting air to go over the top of the call. The way it works and the way a turkey call works is you're pushing air right down the center of the call and over that reed and causing those reeds to vibrate. That's where your sound comes from, across the top of the reed. So let's put the call back in our mouth, get it situated, and what we want to do is a simple, what I do versus what a lot of people do in turkey calling, I huff. You know, everybody says, I want to learn how to blow a turkey call. Well, you're really not blowing a turkey call. You're not, there's people that try that and can't get a single sound out of the call because you're not sending that air right over the top of the call. You want to huff. You want hot air to go over that call. The way to tell if you're getting hot air out of your body, stand in front of a mirror and just blow. If you just blow like this, I promise you, it's cold air and it's not going to fog up a mirror. But if you huff, that's hot air because it's coming from deep within. It's air that is coming from your diaphragms and from the bottom of your lungs, and it's good hot air coming from the center of your body, which causes that right sound that you have to have. So let's first learn how to huff. Call in your mouth, get it situated, and just get a sound. Just huff across the call. Now what you'll notice is my tongue sits on the call just like this. So this is my tongue and my hand is my jaw. So basically my tongue is here and I'm going. My jaw is giving me tongue pressure to push up against that call, which takes that air and focuses it right down the center of the call, causing these reeds to vibrate. If you've trimmed the tape perfectly, you have no air escaping out of the sides and all your air is focused right down the center of the call. So let's try that again. Low pressure. Watch my jaw move and you'll hear it go up. Sounds terrible. Sounds like a dog getting slammed in the car door, but you made it. If you got to that point, you got a sound. The key there is get the sound, and guess what? Don't try to yelp right away. Ride around in your truck. If you're gonna yelp at your house, make sure your wife and your kids aren't home. That way they don't throw your calls away when you're at work. But practice keeping that sound and getting that sound and being able to control that sound. Controlling the sound is all based on tongue pressure. And we'll go a little further in the next segment, but let's just practice. I want you to practice 2 or 3 days on just keeping that sound. I say hut. Everybody uses a different word. Mine is hut. And that's my tongue and my jaw cutting that air off. This is what it sounds like with the call. Now to control that sound is going to put more pressure on the call to make sure that that air stays in one spot. So I give it more pressure. Basically my tongue is sitting on the very bottom of that call, and the air is going between my tongue and the roof of my mouth, and it's going right across the top of that call, which gives you that one solid note, and that's the note you're looking for. So practice air control, getting that first sound, and then air control. Once you get a good solid sound, we'll go into the next segment and I'll teach you how to make the start or the beginning of a yelp, the high and the low, which is a turkey hen yelp.